Hi there, this is Heather Pickin, and I want to welcome you to this episode of Fearless Vision, helping you to get out of your own way and to design the life that is most fulfilling and most aligned and most inspired. And today I'm going to talk about how to master your life and create a vision. This is everything that I do with my clients in my business all around the world. So before I get into that, I want to let you know about a drawing that I have every single month. I give away one of my copies in digital form of one of my books, real briefly. This is my latest one, The La Dolce Vita Formula, A Woman's Guide to Living a Fearless and Fabulous Life, and Woman on Fire Entrepreneur. So here's how you can enter the drawing. Make sure you subscribe, like this video. You know why you want to like this video? Because other women and men, I know men watch this channel, will learn more about my work. And the last thing you should do is comment down below which book that you want to be entered in the drawing for. So got these two books to choose from. Okay, so let's dive in to mastering your life. First off, why is this important? Why do you want to master your life? I will tell you, any area in which you don't own, in which you don't master, that is exactly where you attract your chaos and confusion. So when you're an empowered woman, when you master every single area of your life, you feel fulfilled, you feel confident, and you give yourself permission to do bigger and greater things. I find a lot of times what happens is women don't give themselves permission because they live their lives for approval. They put themselves last. And I'm here to tell you, girlfriend, you got to put yourself first if you want to feel fulfilled. The drawbacks too, other drawbacks, we now know, and I've talked about this on my channel, if you do not, or if you're not true to yourself, you start actually regressing and going back. They've actually done studies with people that have Alzheimer's. They have actually been able to reverse disease by giving people a purpose. When you don't have a purpose, you start to perish. So we have the scientific research on this. I'm not going to go into depth about that, but realize you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't master your life and if you don't have a vision. So we're going to go through the steps today. Now, if you have any questions, make sure you comment below, and I will get back to answer those questions once this video is done. Okay, so first off, I want to talk about, this actually goes back to the Greeks, living what they called living from the telos. And so the telos was actually the end in mind of what a person would want to fulfill in their lifetime. Like, we all have a purpose, if we find it, that we want to pursue. But most people, I find, they don't live their true expression of themselves. And so this telos is really like this GPS system in the brain where you're constantly filtering and seeking out what is most aligned to you. And they created a study called teleology, and teleology is the study of the highest purpose. So they realized that every single person on this planet has the highest purpose of what they want to do in their life. And if you follow it, that's how you maximize your life and master your life, by following your highest values. And I'm going to get into what those are and why those important. Why are those important? And also they created a study called axiology. Axiology is a study of values and worth. And they realized that no two people on the planet have the same worldview. Like, we all have different things that are important to us. If you have kids, you can kind of see their priorities are probably going to be focused on maybe video games or their social life. So we really want to acknowledge that every person on this planet has a different expression of how they want to live their life. That's another conversation in and of itself. But axiology, getting back to axiology, it's the study of values and worth. Why is this important? First, I want to make the distinction. A value, and what I'm talking about, is not about living from integrity. A value is really about going back to the study of values and worth, called axiology, is about the demonstration of what someone is taking action on in the 7 areas of life. So you've heard, one of my highest values is I live from integrity. That is actually not 100% true. That kind of definition is more about social idealisms of how we believe people should be, right? So I look at values by how the Greeks defined it, and it's basically how we're demonstrating our life. Like, what are the things that we're taking action on? Okay. Now you might ask, okay, what are the values? What are the 7 areas of life? So the 7 areas of life is your spiritual quest. Okay. So think about mastering your life and what you want to fulfill for your spiritual purpose. And you could kind of think about, thinking about from the telos, like, what is my spiritual purpose on this planet? And everyone, I will have to tell you, everyone has a purpose. A lot of times people don't find it. So your spiritual quest, what you want to maximize and master for your area of your social life. Okay. Now your social life could actually also be online, creating an influencer brand. It could be the friends that you want to connect with in person. I know I've worked with clients throughout the years that felt, I feel a little insecure about my social area, and that became a high value. Like, they really wanted to focus on that. So we've got spiritual, social. We also have your mindset. You want to master your mindset, right? So mastering the areas of your life, mastering your mindset, what would be the benefit to that? The benefit of understanding how to master your mindset will allow you to get through the challenges in life. Would you agree that you're always going to have challenges? Right now, you're watching this. I'm sure you've had, struggles, obstacles, and challenges in your life. And it's how you master your mindset that will get you through those challenges. Now, as an expert in human behavior, I can literally take any trauma or drama, neutralize those charges that have been running your psychology. So you bring your mind and body back to balance. So you're not creating a story. Why is that important? Well, if you can't get past your past, then you bring that into the moment, which also creates your future. So I focus a lot of my work with my one-on-one clients, my group programs, and corporations. I focus on this piece about creating mastery around your mind, your emotions. I can go into a long song and dance about this, but I'm sure you would agree, if you can master your mindset, you can do anything. I mean, think about it. Let's just say, if you want to create a business, or maybe you have a business right now, and you're not putting yourself out there, you're not playing full out because you're not mastering your mindset. Why do you not put yourself out there? Is because you're afraid of what other people might think of you, right? You're afraid people are going to be trolling on your videos, or wherever you're putting yourself out there online, or maybe you're speaking. And so when you really master your mindset, and what I do is I use a combination of cutting edge neuroscience and psychology to change the way that you see yourself. And so when you change the way that you see yourself, you give yourself permission to go to a new level in your conscious, in your subconscious, I should say, and your conscious mind, so that you can take more action and take more challenges. So you want to master this area. We also have mastering your area of your finances. Okay. So your area of your finances would be saving and investing your money. Now, remember when I said is that, we all live by our highest values. Well, typically we live by our top 3, and you'll know what your highest values are by what is being demonstrated in your life right now. I'm going to put a link to a video below about the 7 areas of life as I'm going through them right now, and how to identify your highest values. But just know that your values will dictate your destiny. And if you don't master every area of your life, someone or something will overpower you. You're going to attract chaos. I can guarantee it. I've seen it all the time. Okay, so we talked about mindset, why that's important. And also another area is your vocation. So what does vocation mean? Vocation means your career. If you have a career, you're pursuing that, or being an entrepreneur. I am a strong believer in being an entrepreneur. You know why? Because you're your own boss, right? But again, it's what you want to maximize in your career. When I'm working with women in corporations, executives, I help them to get that cutting edge by maximizing their mindset. Because your mindset creates your perceptions, and your perceptions create your reality. So again, whatever you want to do, whether it is climbing the ladder of your career or being an entrepreneur, being a visionary leader, that's who I like to work with. The visionary leaders, typically females, but I do work with men that have a vision, that's something that they want to fulfill in their lifetime. I get really excited when I talk about that. Okay, so let's move on to the other areas of your life. Another one is your fitness. Okay, so would you agree, if you master the area of your fitness and health, that you'll have the vitality to tackle and master your vocation? I have seen people that are extremely wealthy, multi-millionaires and billionaires, that don't take care of their health. And guess what? They're on medication. They're having lots of, complications, dis-ease in the body, and they typically die early. So it is important to master the area of your fitness. I know for me, if you don't know my story, I got my start in bodybuilding and fitness. And to me, it's a lifestyle. It is about training your body, feeding it with nutritious foods. And when I look at that, if you're weak in that area, the best thing is to hire a coach or mentor that can help you, empower you in mastering that area of life. If you feel it is lower in your 7 areas, and it's something that is definitely creating a negative impact right now. So mastering your fitness. We also have mastering your relationships. So your relationships could be with your family, could be a personal relationship. And if you're not, what I find, because I work with a lot of women all around the world, and when I do a values assessment, and again, that link in the video below will help you to identify your top highest values. So what I'm doing this, and I'm working with women, either executive women or entrepreneurs, if in their area of their relationships, let's just say that's a high value for them, and they're in a relationship right now where it doesn't feel congruent, what happens is they start attracting more chaos. And so you keep attracting chaos over and over again, until you wake up. It's like your wake up call. And so I have found when we balance that area out, that everything else balances out in the 7 areas of life. Okay. So if you are in a relationship where you constantly feel like drained, you don't feel there's an equal balance of challenge and support, that is the wrong relationship. And so when you're not mastering that area of your life, it bleeds into other areas. It bleeds in. I have worked with so many women over the years, very intelligent women that have PhDs and master's degrees, and I see how disempowered they can be in this area, and it affects their health. It affects their mindset. It affects their earning potential. Okay, if you want to make more money. So again, we can go through all areas of life and look at how a radically imbalanced area of life can pull you down and definitely impact you. Okay, so when you understand those 7 areas of life, and I think I've covered them all. I've covered the spiritual quest that we have. Every human being has a spiritual purpose. Why we're here. That's an area of life that we want to fill based on the telos. We have this the vocation, career, the finances, the fitness, your mindset, your social life, and your relationship. So when you balance or master all 7 areas of life, that is where, as a woman, you own your power. And that is my purpose on life. Is, even though I specialize in building businesses, particularly online, I have found throughout the years is that it's not one size fits all, because if you don't address the other areas of life and you want to build a 6 or 7 figure business, it's not going to happen if you don't have mastery in all 7 areas. So I have been disempowered in every area. And so that taught me that I needed to focus on mastering it, right? So I mentioned in the beginning, any area you're disempowered, you're going to attract someone or something to awaken you. And I look at that as a gift. So if you're going through this right now, maybe you're having health challenges, maybe you're having financial challenges or relationship challenges. Those are probably the main ones. And of course, your mindset. Realize you can take your power back. Like, you can really activate and master these areas by, number one, making a decision. Just make a decision that you are important. And also look at the drawbacks. If you don't dedicate yourself to mastery, what are the drawbacks that happen in every single area of your life? So if you're not getting out of that relationship, what is the drawback to you financially? What is the drawback to you in your health? I can guarantee, if you're having issues in those specific areas, especially relationship, I find the health deteriorates very fast. Finances will go down because you're stressed out, right? You're trying to manage for the relationship. You're trying to pretzel yourself into being something perfect that's really not you. And I will tell you, no one is perfect, right? You got to find that balance in a relationship that is most aligned with you. Okay. So you want to have mastery, and you want to have definitely a strategy. I'm going to talk about planning in a little bit. But one of the things, like I said, one of the first things in mastering in life is, number one, knowing what those 7 areas of life, knowing what your highest values are. So determining that will help you to set goals and actually achieve them. So when I'm working with clients one-on-one, or in my groups, or in corporations, that is one of the first things that we do, is identify your unique formula that allows you to feel fulfilled and inspired and take action. So failure to follow your unique formula, you're going to give yourself excuses. You're going to use imperative language like I should, I must, I have to, oh, I have to work out, instead of I love to work out, right? So identify your top 3 highest values, which will take us to the next step. So after you've determined what your top 3 highest values are, so we have a concentrated focus on the top 3, okay? And just to give you a shortcut, but I go into more detail in that video, is, where are you really spending a lot of your time, your focus, watching YouTube videos? Like, what specifically are you watching or reading about online that you're obsessed about in a good way, right? You have a highly concentrated focus in that area. And so those values, your highest values, will determine how you set goals and actually achieve them, and actually achieve goals that are doable. I find the biggest mistakes that people are making is they don't identify their unique formula. Then they try to set goals that never come true because they're unrealistic, because they never took the time to figure out, what really makes me tick. So figuring that out is key. So once you've done that, the next step of really creating what I call your fearless vision is getting clear of how you really want to be seen on this planet. And what do I mean by that? So when you leave this planet Earth, right, when you leave your physical body, do you want to be known as what? A visionary leader. I was on a call today with a client where I was helping her to map out her fearless vision. And I said, okay, what's most important to you? Like, how do you really want to be known? She's like, I want to be known as a visionary thought leader. So think about what is specific to you. And sometimes this takes some time to flesh it out. When I'm working with my elite clients on this piece in their business, or it could be, it doesn't have to be a business, but just, as a human being, I want to get clear on my vision. You have to know, like, what is your purpose, right? What is that guiding force for you and how you want to leave this planet? So get clear. And you might put out a couple of things out there, but this is I'm kind of giving you the template of how you should start. So how or who am I, right? What is my identification of my being? Thought leader, visionary thought leader, inspirational. I'm the most inspirational female thought leader, innovative, whatever. So whatever you're quote unquote calling yourself, that's how you want to start this out. Now, the second part of this process in creating your fearless vision is, how are you going to do that? Now, here's how I like to look at it between now and the rest of your life. How do you want to get your work out there? Whatever it is that you're doing. So if you are an entrepreneur, or maybe you're an inspiring entrepreneur, do you see yourself teaching and coaching? What platforms, online, offline? You want to start getting specific. And actually in my book, little plug for my book, I know, shameless plug, right? In my book, Little Dose of Beautiful, I actually go into this, and also when I'm working with clients one-on-one. But you'll get the gist of what I'm talking about is like, where do I really see myself? Do you want to travel all around the world with your work and whatever you do? And you define your destiny. Don't allow the limitations of your mind to tell yourself, oh, I can't do it, right? So this is why when I'm working with clients, a lot of my work is based in neuroscience, particularly reprogramming that subconscious mind, because that is how everything, whether you're taking action or not, it starts with your subconscious mind. So again, don't limit yourself. Don't limit yourself. If you want your work to be distributed all around the world, okay, what does that look like? Expand your vision. You might say, well, Heather, who am I to do that? And I am giving you permission right now to do what you want to do, be who you want to be, and have what you want to have. I think a lot of times what happens is we're trying to figure out the how, and you can give yourself permission to just dream a little bit bigger. Like, don't figure out so much the how. Maybe you do or have sort of an idea, like, I want to put myself online. I want to start a YouTube channel. I want to do coaching, consulting, whatever that is. You want to make soap. Seriously, whatever it is that you want to do. You love dancing and you see yourself dancing in different countries. If that's part of your vision and you want to teach people how to do that, then it's important to do this in your second part of your vision. It's the vehicle. It could be one vehicle or multiple vehicles in how you're putting out, creating your own vision. So getting clear. And I find this takes time. This takes time. Mastering, not only mastering your vision, but creating the template, creating the framework that makes you feel light. So spend a couple days, spend a couple weeks. And I always have my clients constantly refine their vision, right? So it's important as your values change, because they can over time, and they can change through even a catastrophic event, maybe at an accident. So if your health was not a highest value, guess what? That gets moved to the top. Or if you had a baby, guess what? Having a baby is going to be a high value. So you're going to be focused on raising your child. So your vision will change, hopefully gradually, right? Changing over time, planning and tweaking for that. Okay, so we talked about a little bit about the steps in your vision. And what I would recommend is also to include, so we talked more about like your spiritual quest and your vision. We talked about like your vocation of how you're going to do it. And then you fill in the gaps with the other areas of your life and things that are most important to you. But I would actually include all 7 areas of life into your fearless vision. Why? Because this video is all about mastering every single area of your life. And any detail that you leave out of your fearless vision will be a loophole. Okay. It's going to be a loophole and feedback to your conscious mind for you to revise your vision. Don't make yourself wrong. Just realize, oh, if I'm not getting clear in my fearless vision of attracting high-end clients that love and, do the work and pay me, then I might attract a client because I didn't have the boundaries. And there you go. There's the loophole. I've had clients do that, and I kind of laugh. And I'm like, well, you weren't clear on your vision and your boundaries. So this client, guess what? It was a gift. It was a gift you attracted. So anyways, revise your vision. And people might ask, well, Heather, how long does my vision need to be? I have a couple pages, but I started off with literally a paragraph. Start with where you're at. Now, this is where I say take a sliver of your fearless vision and chunk it down to 90 days. Because I know what you're saying right now, Heather, there's so much I want to do between now and the rest of my life. How in the heck do I do this? I feel overwhelmed. This is where I want you to zoom in on just 90 days, 1/4, okay? 1/4, which is 90 days of that vision, okay? So if your vision, let's just say your highest priority right now, maybe mastering one area of your life is fitness, then focus on 90 days of having a plan and a strategy of what you're going to do. So you look at the overall goal of what you're going to do for 90 days, and then you break it down, you chunk it down into the highest priorities of what you're doing every single day. Why do you want to do that? Well, here's how it works. There's actually a law in business called Parkinson's law. It's like a universal law. And when you don't fill up your time with high priority things, guess what? Your time is filled up with lower priority things. So if you have a high priority and a high value on mastering the area of your fitness, if you don't calendar that, if you don't have a strategy for that, you're not gonna meet your goal. And then those 90 days will, pass, and then you'll start beating yourself up, right? So you want to have a strategy. You want to have a strategy 90 days. Now you might ask a question like, okay, Heather, I want to master every single area of my life. Can I do that? Can I create something within 90 days? I would say just prioritize it, just like have a 90-day plan. You want to focus on business. You want to focus or on your career. Maybe you want to get a raise, right? What's the strategy for that? If in 90 days you want to ask for the raise, what I would tell you to do is focus on your mindset. And that will help you to change your subconscious program, especially if you have an issue with owning your value and worth, right? Maybe let's take this example, being an entrepreneur. What I find a lot of entrepreneurs do, especially coaches and consultants, is they take on too many projects. They're not focused. And so their energy is scattered and they're not achieving their monthly income goals. So what I do is say, okay, how many clients do you want to attract in the next 90 days? Let's focus on that. And you reverse engineer that. So what do you need to be doing every single day? I am actually going to link a video below on different ways, online and offline, and how you can attract high-end coaching clients if that's something of interest to you. So I have strategies of online or offline. So guess what? I'm giving you the strategies. I'm giving you the template. You need to implement it. So you think about all 7 areas. Maybe you want to improve your relationships, your current relationship. Maybe you're having an issue with communication. Guess what? In those 90 days, what I would do is either hire a coach or a mentor, read books, watch videos, immerse yourself in 90 days, and then you have to implement, right? You have to research, learn. You also have to implement the strategies. That's why I find the fastest way to master your life, the fastest way is hiring a coach or a mentor. I have groups, I have small mentoring groups, and I also work with elite clients and with executives and corporations. So I have many different programs depending on where you're at. to help you to create this fearless vision. So there's a book, I might have mentioned this in one of my videos before. It's called The One Thing, focusing on the one thing. But they did a study on people hiring a mentor or coach or getting someone to hold them accountable. And they were, I want to say the stats were 73% more likely to achieve their goals by having someone accountable. So this is where that investment will pay dividends, no matter what area of life it is. So if you want to master your fitness, get a fitness coach. If you want to accelerate your results and to ensure your results, right? You might find yourself sabotaging because there's a pattern, there's a behavioral pattern that you don't know how to change. So guess what? If you get a coach that has an expertise in understanding how to change behavior, you're going to get the results. So that's what I love about coaching and mentoring and teaching, is I can help my clients get fast results when they go through the strategies. But how I teach is focusing on the mental foundations to get the outer results. If you try to do the outer first, it's not going to be long lasting. Okay. It's going to be putting a Band-Aid on the situation. So again, let's go back to the framework 90 days. If you want to focus on all 7 areas, you can do a sliver of each one. But what I find works really well is look to see where you're radically imbalanced or things that you really want to improve on, and just pick a couple of areas and then create your 90-day plan. Now, after the 90 days, I would say actually every week you want to measure your success. Where did you excel? Where did you kind of slack off? And that would be your benchmark. And then you want to either tighten up the strategy, rework the strategy. Maybe after a week, you're like, you know what? I really need to hire a mentor or coach, right? And then after, each 30 days, or actually every week, you evaluate. You could evaluate yourself every week. I have a strategy in which I take clients through and how to do daily evaluations, weekly evaluations, and then the course of 30 days. Why is that important? Because if something's not working, it's usually mindset, right? If you're not taking the action, that tells me that your subconscious mind needs to be reprogrammed, right? If you're saying, oh, I know I should be doing that, but I'm not doing it, it's probably not a high value, number one. Number two, you don't know how to shift your values so that you are focusing on the thing that will get you the results, right? And number three, reprogramming your subconscious mind. That is through repetition. And when you do that, when you have someone that can take you through that training properly, you'll change that habit, and that habit will become a part of you. So that is the benefit of you investing in yourself, right? Investing in anything, in coaching, mentoring, watching videos like this. You're actually investing some of your time, right? So anyways, I find that is really helpful. And then after 90 days, you kind of look to see, okay, great. What are some of the things that I did well? Am I on track? Do I need to restructure how I'm looking at this? So let's just say you said, Heather, I'm ambitious. I'm going to focus on mastering all 7 areas of my life in the next 90 days. And let's just say you're all over the place. So maybe that's an indication that, you know what, maybe I'm just taking on too much and I need to dial back. I'm going to focus on these top 3 areas, which are my highest values. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to measure accordingly. So I really find this is personal, based on what works for you. As I mentioned, we all have a specific, unique formula that makes us work. And sometimes it's more challenging for people to take on a lot of projects at once. I mean, think about all 7 areas. It might be too overwhelming. So you just got to find and design a strategy that works for you. And the last thing I will say in mastering every area of your life is doing what I call my 5-5-5 routine. So I teach this in my programs and with my elite clients. And what is it? Well, it's basically taking 15 minutes, right? 5-5-5 of reprogramming your mind, reprogramming your subconscious mind to really master every single area of your life. Or if you're just focusing on business, then you're doing that specifically for business. But it's 5 minutes of, number one, reading what I was just talking about today, your fearless vision. You read it and you refine it. You ask yourself, is there anything I need to change? It might be a word or a phrase. I've literally changed a word or phrase in my vision. And within 24 hours, I would align myself with the right people and the resources. And here's how it works. The clearer you are on your fearless vision, you will attract and align yourself with the right clients, the right resources, and the right people. If you don't do that, remember when I said that's where you're going to attract your chaos? Okay. So we dial in the clarity. Every day we're tweaking. And you have to do it every day. I recommend reading your fearless vision every single day, because through repetition, that helps you to reprogram your subconscious mind, right? Failure to do it, and I find people are scattered. They're scattered with their energy. They're like, I don't know what to do. They feel overwhelmed. So you start with your fearless vision. Start small and expand it. You expand it over time. That is step number one. Number two is a process called journaling or scripting. And this is really important. One of the reasons why I like journaling so much is that it, on a neural level, it impacts both your motor and sensory neurons. And you might be like, Heather, why do I need to know that? This is important because this is how you change your perception. Okay. So I have this entire process that I teach my clients, I go through, but it is using the journaling aspect to really create your fearless vision. Tell me what you want and I'll tell you how to get there. But you got to do the steps. You got to do the steps and focus on what you want. Now, part of the journaling process is also being in gratitude, right? And they have showed, actually studies have shown that you make more connections in your brain when you are in total gratitude. The brain actually gets pruned away. The connections in the brain get pruned away when you're focusing on what you don't want and you're staying in that state. I mean, it is mind-blowing. So it's really important every day to have this gratitude, attitude of gratitude, having reflective awareness, even if it's small, because that will help you to change your focus. Even if it's like the shirt on your back, even if it's like a cup of coffee, right? You start small, you connect with what you want, because when you're grateful for what you have, you will align yourself with more things. I guarantee it. When you do the opposite, you notice how the opposite shows up. It's your focus. Where you focus, your energy and attention flows. So you want to start pre-paving your day for success. This is how you set yourself up for success. If you want to have a successful mindset, it is how you create this fearless vision, and you're doing it every day. And then the third thing is what I call fearless visioning. Okay, so this is another thing I teach in my programs, one-on-one and group. And the fearless visioning is really about thinking from that end result of what you want any area of your life to look like, and really connecting with the feeling. Why is that important? Well, they have done so many studies about this, about how if we rewire our internal thermostat of how we engage our senses, we keep doing that, what happens is that the subconscious mind, it doesn't know what's real or what's not real. So when you're engaging your nervous system, when you're imprinting and using your senses, you start creating what you want from an outer perspective. So that's why when I'm working with my clients, I work from within first so that they can get the outer results. And I've helped my clients build 6- and 7-figure businesses. So I know this stuff works. It absolutely works. If you're saying, Heather, this doesn't work, it's because you haven't done it, right? Or you haven't done it in the right way. So to me, I am really about the right formula, applying the formula, and then measuring the results. Wow. Oh my gosh. We've talked a lot today about mastering every area of your life, like really creating what I believe your fearless vision is. And the last thing I will say is, do not limit yourself. Okay. We put limitations like, oh, how is that going to happen? It's not your job to figure out the how. It is your job to stay true to the essence of what that vision is. So it might show up in a different form. Let me give an example. Let's just say you put it out there in your fearless vision that you wanted to empower and impact millions of people. You had a specific form in which you thought it should be in, but it showed up differently. To me, it's focusing on really that end result of I'm impacting millions. It doesn't matter how it shows up, whether you're impacting millions on a YouTube channel or Facebook or on TV. I mean, it could be in multiple forms, but the key is getting clear and taking action and keep revising your vision and being the most I should say being the most authentic expression as a human being, as Oprah says. Your job here on planet Earth is to define your purpose and being your most authentic expression of yourself. And I truly believe that. I mean, can you agree that Oprah Winfrey, she has pretty amazing life, and she definitely believes in creating a vision and putting it out there and being true to yourself. That's the key. So I could go on and on about that, but I think this gives you a great framework. And the key is you just got to start with creating your fearless vision, understanding what your highest values are. Okay. Go to that video, watch that, create your fearless vision, do the 5-5-5 routine, right? And implement the 90-day strategy. Just take a sliver of your vision and create that strategy and start taking the action and measure it. And if you need some help, you're like, oh my gosh, Heather, this is so great, but I feel kind of stuck. This is where I want to support you. I mean, I do a lot of free videos and I put a lot of free content out there, but I understand that some of you really need some help. There's a lot of different forms in which you can get help. I think books are great. This is your lowest entry. Whether you win it could be free, $20 for a book, or working with me in one of my groups or one-on-one. Obviously, one-on-one is a bigger investment, right? But here's what I think about it is if you're really stuck, if you've been stuck for a long time and you've tried the external things that you think, oh, this should work, that tells me it's a subconscious program. So when you look and work on the subconscious program, that's how things start taking off. I have worked with clients who lost weight. Recent client told me she just lost 20 pounds because of the work that we did together. And then of course her business, I mean, it's just crazy. I love what I do because I get to change lives every single day. And no matter what format it is, no matter if you're watching this video, maybe it's like 12 o'clock at night or early in the morning, I get to connect with you in my digital form and hopefully inspire and impart some wisdom to master your life, to fulfill your life and realize that you're worth it. So until next time, this is Heather Picken, and make sure if you like this video, subscribe, comment below for the drawing, and thumbs up. Until next time, live fearlessly.